I'm not sure if you caught my earlier live like 20 minutes ago. I'm trying something new today. I am trying to stream our session into both Facebook group like we normally do, and also into a YouTube channel as well using a program called Restream. So let me just make sure that it's working properly. So if you can bear with me for a little bit, I'm just gonna make sure. Okay, so it works on the Facebook group, and then I am gonna check my YouTube channel just to make sure that everything is working properly. Okay, let's see. Okay, not testing. Let me just make sure it's working. All right, it's working properly as well. So from now on, you can watch the Facebook live session both from the Facebook group and also the YouTube channel. I have some friends, they don't have Facebook account, but they were really interested in the content that we provide in this group. So I'm just so happy that we'll be able to share our information and resources with a wider audience by streaming into both channels. So I have shared a link to the YouTube channel on our page. So if you have a friend who might benefit from the content that we provide within the Facebook group, please share the link and invite them to check it out. Because sometimes we run a tech tutorial, or we have a very good guest speaker that has information that'll be very helpful for your organization. The last thing you want to do or be the only person with the information that's helpful for your organization. I believe in working as a team, and the more information your colleagues and friends can have in your organization, the healthier and more thriving your organization will be. You don't want all the responsibilities on your shoulder. They will end up overwhelming you, and you'll get a burnout. And I created this page specifically to make sure that we have volunteers for a long time, being thriving and providing necessary services without overwhelming them with too much responsibility, so that we lose them. So the topic that I'm sure is in many of your minds right now is the recruitment. Normally nonprofit organizations calendar runs from July 1st to June 30th. So I'm sure you're winding down your current term and thinking about what's going to happen next year. Sometime you commit for 2 years, so you're wrapping up your first year and feel like you've kind of got a handle on it, and you're ready for your second term, or you're wrapping up your second term and feeling like looking at the board, you're not sure what kind of situation they will be, and want to make sure that you leave the board thriving and ready to work again next year. I'm sure some of you guys might have had the election already and have some key people in position. You may still need to recruit some chairs or some other volunteers. So I hope you find this information relevant as well. If you are still creating a slate for next year's board, I hope you use some of this information to make sure that you fill your slate with the right people that will contribute positively in your organization as well. So without further ado, let me start my presentation. So let me go and open my Canva. So as you know, I'm a huge fan of Canva. This is, I do use the paid subscription, but as a nonprofit organization, you can get a free account and have all the features that a paid account has. So if your nonprofit organization doesn't have Canva, I would seriously look into it and apply for a free one as a nonprofit organization. So today my focus will be on how to recruit new board members. So as you know, I have 5 children, and my youngest is in second grade and my oldest is a freshman in college. So I've been volunteering for school-based organizations for many years at multiple schools. And over the years, I've come up with 7 tips. This is not the most comprehensive, and I'm sure you guys have some other tips as well. So when you're watching this Facebook live session, if there's a really good resource or other tips that you would like to share with the group members, please feel free to add them to your to the comments so that we can all learn together. But for today's purpose, I'll be sharing 7 tips on how to recruit new board members for your school-based organization. So first of all, tip number one, know your needs. So just look around at your organization and figure out what type of people you have, what kind of skills these board members have. If you have to look for a new president, I would say look for these essential qualities. Somebody with a genuinely generous heart, somebody that doesn't come with certain motive. I think that's very important. That the person who it will be leading your organization also knows that these are volunteers, these are parents. They all have different situation. They are very busy. They come with different skills. So just know that you're gonna get people with varying abilities or varying availability as well. So being open is also important to the differences, and also the flexibility to learn and the willingness to try new things. I have seen some great volunteers who are hesitant to step up to the board because they feel like they haven't spent enough time in the organization or they don't know enough about the organization. I would say those two things, those two objections, are not very important. From my over 10 years of experience working at these organizations, some of the best leaders have been the people with these qualities. So they don't even have to know a lot about the organization as long as they're flexible and they're willing to learn and they have the right mindset. So once you have those people that you can put in place, I would say the cherry on the top is it's really good to have these other people with specific skills in your organization. I would say somebody with background in finance, especially in accounting, or somebody who's a CPA. Also, if you happen to have a parent who's a lawyer, having somebody with the legal knowledge and experience is very, very important and will help you and make sure that you don't get into trouble. Social media, event planning experience, or project management experience. These are really, really good experience, good people to have. So you can maybe ask them to be on chair like a specific project, or just help you pro bono, or even give you a little discount, like maybe a parent who's a CPA can help you guys file your tax return for a discounted price or something like that. So look at your community, look at your school, and find out what type of parents you have so that you can, and also look at your organization. If you already have a CPA as a board member, you don't have to recruit somebody else to fill that position. So look at what you have, do the inventory of your current board, and find out who is not going to be there anymore, and decide on your needs, and then start thinking about, you guys can brainstorm together, think about who are the good people that will serve in your board and continue to work really well with everybody else in the organization. The second thing is be a salesperson. So I'm not asking you to become like a sleazy old car salesperson. So the first step is, you need to learn what you're selling. So I would say during your regular board meeting, get your board to just kind of write the reasons why they joined the board. You can create a quick Google form and have everybody log in and just, submit that information. Or you can, just pass out a note card or something and a flashcards and ask them to just fill it out. Take 5-10 minutes. And while they're doing that, they can also write a most memorable story they've had while they're volunteering in your organization. Or, if they can remember the most rewarding experience, let's say, you guys raise enough money to build a new STEM lab or something like that, and you realize, your children are learning this cutting edge information, that was really rewarding or something like that. People ask your board member, your current board, to come up with these ideas, because you don't have to come up with all the ideas. And now, accumulate that and start a conversation. I think it's a great idea to read these stories and experiences during the board meeting, because you equip the other board members to go out and become salesperson for your organization. So now, while you're doing that, it's a good time to revisit your goals and mission statements. See if it's clear, see if it grabs people's attention. If it's not, right now might not be a bad time to revisit that and reword it so that it's easy for people to understand exactly what you guys are trying to do. And then that would help you recruit the valuable members. So also, it's a great idea to do something like an annual report where you summarize all the accomplishments your organization has made that year. When people can see all the great things that you've done, more people will be drawn to your organization and would like to serve on the board and help you make that positive difference in your school community. Check your inventory. What it means is get to know your community. And these are some of the tips that I have learned throughout the years. Ask your admin, ask your principal, ask your assistant principal for some of the good parents, or you can share your needs. You can say, oh, I really need somebody that has some background in finance. Your admin might know. Or one of the most resourceful people on campus are the front office staff members. Always be nice to them because they're so helpful and will make your life so much easier when you're trying to plan a campaign and execute it. Also, ask the admin if they can just send out like a teacher email to the teachers and see if they know of any parents that might be a really great member on your board. If you have a PTA, a lot of times they have a room parent coordinator who works with other room parents in classrooms. I think room parents are one of those most generous people and who are most plugged in. They know the parents and students in that group, in that class, and they'll be able to either nominate themselves or nominate people that you didn't know about. Ask other board members for them to nominate at least one or two people. And then also, if you have a social media presence, look at your pages and see if you have a really, really good follower. Because when you look at it, you're going to realize that there are some parents who always see your post, like it, and then share it. So first of all, that tells you that these people have experience using social media. And also, that they are very invested in what you're doing and they really want to know. And these people might be really great people to be on your board as well. Tip number 4, marketing and ask. So I love these, the marketing rule of 7. So it states that a prospect needs to see or hear an advertiser's message at least 7 times before they take action to buy that product or service. So one of the things that I see a lot in parent organizations on campus is that they don't ask enough. They don't communicate enough because they're afraid that it might be annoying. So let's talk about different ways that you can communicate and also ask for parents to volunteer. So I think it's really important that you do have some sort of a nomination form. It could be a paper form or a simple Google form, whatever works well for your school community and what your school community is used to. Another good idea is to have both for digital and the paper forms available because some people just feel more comfortable using one over the other. There could be school newsletter, or you can make physical flyers. You could do an email blast. Some schools do phone blast, and I know because of COVID, when the school was closed, my children's school started using more text blast to get in contact with the parents. Some schools may not let you use these. You need to always check with the admin and see what kind of support they can provide for your organization. I would say social media post with the link where they can fill out the nomination form is really good. One thing I want you to know about social media post. So let's say you create a Facebook post or an Instagram post. Just know that only about 5% of the people who liked your page or who are followers to your page actually get to see these posts. So, you can post multiple times. You can share that post on story many, many times. So it's okay to overpost on social media. Classroom announcements from the teacher. It's, you can just send them a message template by email. So it's not like the teacher has to come up with their own message, and they can just use whatever the wording that you've given them, and they can just, either read it or send an email out to parents. That's another way to get the teachers involved. If your school has like a marquee or poster, or if your school lets you put lawn signs, you can make different physical signs so that you can let people know that you guys are seeking for the next year's board members. Just ask, because if you ask and they say no, it's same as if you didn't. But if you don't ask, then parents don't know what the needs are for the organization. So just always know the rule of 7, that people may need to hear this 7 times or see it 7 times before they might act on it, or it will register in their brain. Because just remember that parents are very busy. They're balancing their work life and their family life. Tip number 5, make it personal. So all the tips I gave you from all the ideas that I've given you in tip 4, those are passive ways to ask. It's almost like just kind of, throwing throwing pasta against a wall and then see which one sticks. The most effective way is if you can text, email, or make a phone call, or arrange an in-person meeting with the people that you really want to see on the board. So, you yourself don't have to do it. If another board member has a personal relationship with another parent that might be a really, really good volunteer, ask that board member to get in contact with that person. And, when you start talking, that's how you find out, what they're thinking, what kind of situation they're in. Because a lot of times, the people who are not involved in your organization may not have the right idea of what you guys do or the level of commitment. So it's, our job to explain, the actual situation and the reality of what you guys are doing. If there is one particular person that you think will be so good, I would say ask more than once if they say no. Have conversation. Don't get to a point where you're annoying and you're like stalking them and asking them all the time. That's not what I'm saying. Is have conversation with them. Find out what their objections are, and if you guys can come up with a solution together, you can convince that person maybe that the cause that you guys are working toward might be worthwhile for them to take up on that extra work, or take a chance and be helpful in your organization in maybe a smaller scale than what you're proposing. So I would say don't get discouraged when you get no as an answer the first time. It is okay to ask more than once, but just do it in a very thoughtful manner that you're not becoming annoying to the person that you're asking. Tip number 6, don't abdicate your responsibility. So something that I've seen for the parent leaders when their term is over, on June 30th, they would hand over their folder to the new leader and they just go, I'm done. And they disappear, like you never see them on campus. Hang around a little bit, be a mentor to a new board member. One of the biggest objections that the people have before they join the board is they don't want to be in a situation where they're overwhelmed and they don't know what to do. So if you guys have any like policies and procedures or any kind of templates or how to do certain things or report from an event you guys have run, make sure you have that available to the new members, and just you don't have to micromanage them. I would say I believe in people's creativity, and everybody has different ways of doing it, but just connect with the key people, connect the new board member with the key people on campus who know how to get things done. Like, you could say you talk to this person on the front staff to get the phone message out, or you use this company to print out your flyers. Like you can provide that kind of information. And also, you can just schedule like a check-in. You can have a coffee couple months or a couple weeks after they start their term and see what kind of questions they have. If you're too busy, you can just do a phone call. Just kind of be available for them for first few months. Either email, whatever that works for you and the new leader. I would say, just don't leave them in the dark. Remember back in the days, if you were in that situation when you were new to a position, like how you felt, if you didn't have the support. So be that support for the new person. I'm not asking you to stay on and help out throughout the year. I would say, at least first couple months, just be available for them so that they can get their questions answered. And if you don't have that time, I would say I have something for you. The main reason why I started this community is because I went through that time when I felt very overwhelmed and overworked, and I was looking for different resources to help me do things that I wanted to do within the organization. And I do understand that a lot of us are so busy and may not have time to check in and be a mentor to these people. So I have created a digital course for new parent leaders, and I want to take a quick minute just to show you what it looks like. So it's called School Fundraising Pro Academy. It's a 4-week digital course that will start on April 12th, which is Monday, and it will go on for 4 weeks, and it's a self-paced course. So, it's not like they have to be available at a certain time. And I will provide some sort of question and answer session on Facebook Live or through a YouTube channel. And they can either attend it live and ask questions, or they can submit the questions beforehand so that I can answer them, and then they can watch the replay later on. For the people in this Facebook group, I appreciate you trusting me and joining this community. So I do have a discount code. So the code is March 21. And normally the course is $147 for the 4 weeks course. But you can get this for $75, and the code works until March 19th. So either you can take this, or if you're trying to recruit somebody, you can let them know that there is a course that they can take for just, under $100 that's going to equip them and set them on the right direction so that they don't feel like, they don't know what to do. They feel empowered. They'll have the fundamental skills. They will have the right information so that they can plan out the whole year before the next year starts. So I am very proud of the course that I've created. This comes from after over 10 years of volunteering for my children's school organizations. This comes from my experience of raising close to $2 million for these organizations, and had I was able to develop very thriving board, and got people to work together really well. So I hope that you look into it, and if that's $75 is too much for that volunteer, maybe see if your organization is interested in investing in professional development of the volunteers. I firmly believe in educating the volunteers instead of paying somebody else to do something for you. I would say just for a $75 investment, you're going to realize that you guys will be able to raise so much more money, if you double or triple the amount that you used to raise, and, have people willing to work in your organization to accomplish the needs, provide the needs your school has, so that your children will have more and will be able to thrive. And I'm just hoping that more people will take advantage of this course and continue to make positive differences in their school communities. If you have any questions about the course, please DM me. I am all ears, and I want to find out ways to work with you and your organization. My last tip: have a succession plan from the very beginning. So think of it as a system. Once you get on a new board, as a new board member, you don't own the board. You don't own your organization. Think of it as somebody that doesn't own it, but that's granted a time to develop it, and you know that you will have to let it go. The organization is not about you. The organization is about the organization. So when you're volunteering in the organization, always keep in mind, can this organization function without me being in it? So always put systems in it. And then if you can find somebody, a really great volunteer, ask them if they want to shadow you and learn it. Delegate responsibility. You don't have to dump the whole thing to the new person, but give them little by little. Be patient with them. If you need to just show them a little bit of, how to do it, just take that moment to show them how something needs to be done. If you are the president of the organization, I think president-elect is a great idea. So start working on it right now and see if you can recruit somebody. Normally, when a parent volunteer steps up and become a leader in an organization, what I found out is that the first year, they're not as effective. First year is like learning year for them. They're seeing everything for the first time. They're scrambling, trying to figure out how to get things done. And then second year is that when they're more effective. So why not create this, president-elect position so that they don't have all that burden and responsibility, but they are watching what's being done, so they learn, so that once their term starts, they become effective leader on day one, instead of spending the whole first year learning how to be the president. So I would say, if you are going to be leading an organization, look and see if you can have a president-elect will be with you, so that you guys can start the process from the very beginning together. And other chairs, I always want to encourage people to do, you put two people for a project. One person can be the main person and another person can be like an assistant, so that you have the secondary person who's going to shadow that, because people's situation change. Sometimes you have to move to a new place because of your job, or suddenly there's other family needs that you have to tend to, and when the chairperson leaves, and suddenly that project doesn't get done. So I always say, have a plan B, and having a plan B and having another person as an assistant for the chair, I think that's a great idea, to make sure that in spite of different personal circumstances that may happen to the volunteers, the organization still goes on and still raises money and still provides the services that your community needs. So these are my 7 tips. So I would like to continue this conversation with you. And, if you like the content that we're providing, invite others to join the School Fundraising Pro Facebook group. And I also have a FB and IG page. It's called, you can search School Fundraising Pro. And I put other announcements or other contents that I think might be helpful for the people who are volunteering for school-based organizations. And also check out the digital course. I'll share the link again in the page. And it's scheduled to launch on April 12th. And right now I'm offering almost 50% off with the discount code March 21. And so, you can take advantage of that. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, please feel free to DM me. I would like to get to know you better and then find out what your needs are, so that we can provide the information that will be beneficial to you. Let's see, I'm gonna come back. And so thank you once again for watching today's session. I hope you got something useful out of it. I wish you best of luck as you wrap up your current year, and you prepare for the next year, whether you're on the board or not. I hope that you can help them set up for success for next year. I'm excited about the school year 2021-22. I pray that more things are back in normal, so that we can continue to build a community that have suffered a lot during the closure of the school and all the lockdowns related to COVID. People really need to get together and get that person to in-person time. And I hope that you can create this nice board so that you are ready to launch once the school opens again. Have a great weekend. I am looking forward to providing other very useful sessions in this group next week and the following week. Look out for announcements. And if you have any questions, please DM me. Thank you.